Hey everyone, it's Chinbeard and welcome to my office. I just conducted a super impromptu Q&A on Twitter and I'm going to answer your questions as quickly as possible because 71 of you have responded. So I may not get to all of them. Okay, let's see here. Starflirt Academy asks, do you ever get crafting burnout? Not really. I love doing this like crazy, but I do sometimes get burnt out on a certain piece of something I'm working on. So what I'll do is I'll set that aside, I'll go work on another project, get that finished up, and then return to the previous project. Kimber Streams asks, what is your most beloved tool and why? Probably my scroll saw. I use it all the time. Lindsay asks, if you could only have one kind of pizza for the rest of your life, what would you have? What would be on it? I would have pepperoni pizza from Cam's New York Pizzeria on 2nd and Bridge in Oswego, New York. Yeah. Andrew Balcom asks, how would you like your steak cooked? Medium rare, because that's the only way to eat steak. Brock Parker wants to know, what is your average build time with Mass Effect prop and armor builds? I can do Mass Effect armor in about a week and a half, but that's about 100 hours of work. But that's how much I work. Tom Quinn wants to know, not counting Halloween costumes, what was your very first cosplay build? Like 4 or 5 years ago, my friends did Team Fortress 2 for PAX. Anita Potter wants to know, on costumes, do you get a lot of reference images or can you actually find blueprints or plans of them? Most of the stuff I do is from video games, so what I do is I grab reference images from the video game. Usually, if I can get the 3D model, I'll grab that, and then I will draw my own blueprints for them. Sarah wants to know, why did you get into cosplay and prop making? Once again, it was my friends. They said, hey, wouldn't it be fun to go to a convention dressed up as characters from a video game? And I said, why not? Anthony Blow wants to know if I've ever done anything with 3D printers yet. My wife and I are both 3D modelers by our formal training is 3D computer art. And she modeled her Phantom helmet and had that 3D printed at Shapeways. I haven't done anything like that myself, but she did, and it was really cool. Nicola Weston wants to know, when did you start making props? I started making props about 4 years ago. She also wants to know, did you think you get into the position you're in right now? And what's been the most challenging so far? I had no idea it would be something I would do professionally. It just sort of happened. And the most challenging thing so far is paying my rent with my craft and all of the challenges associated with that. Carrie Page wants to know, what is an alternative to use something super complicated like carbon fiber that is also lightweight? I would recommend using foam floor mats from the hardware store. You can get them with a texture on it that looks a lot like carbon fiber at a fraction of the cost, and it's way easier to use. Mrs. Dork Johnson wants to know what my favorite cheese is. Big fan of provolone on a sandwich. I like soft cheeses like brie. Yeah. John Morgan wants to know, favorite cosplay I've seen excluding my own work. That's really hard. I've seen a lot of really amazing costumes, and I was just at Dragon Con. Some standout ones from Dragon Con. David Carpenter from Evil Effects did the Didact from Halo 4, and that kind of blew me away. I saw the guys from Stony Props and their Halo stuff. That was really amazing. There was a cosplay group there that was just spot on from the Fifth Element. The whole group there, that was amazing, and I love the Fifth Element. That was really cool. It's hard to say. I have a new favorite one every day. Whenever I see a new thing on the internet, that's my new favorite one. Chewing through these. Cameron wants to know, what was your favorite project to make? I always say, this is the artist in me, but I always say whatever the last project is that I finished is always my favorite. Matthew Walton wants to know, what is your favorite material for a good-looking one-off prop? I like MDF and styrene for that because it's durable. A lot of people like styrofoam or extruded polystyrene. That's not as durable, but it is super easy to work with. It's super cheap, and it's super lightweight. Jackie Hearn wants to know what she should have for dinner. I would go with, let's see, I'll tell you what I'm having. I'm having chicken and vegetables. So there you go. Jose Carlos Zamora wants to know, what is the best way to get into making molds and sculpting props? Mold making is really hard, and you can see other people on the internet doing it, and you can try and do what they did, but you're not going to learn until you've tried it yourself and screwed up a whole bunch. There's a steep learning curve, and it's expensive, but once you get good at it, it pays off like big time. Mrs. Dork Johnson also wants to know how I keep thigh pieces up and in place with a belt. For example, my Mass Effect armor has a nylon belt that goes across with Velcro on the hips, and my hip pieces Velcro to those, and then I put two elastic straps around each thigh so that it's nice and snug. Michael Miller wants to know, now that this is my full-time job, how's it going fiscally? I'm getting by. Jack Donegan wants to know, where do you get most of your templates for your builds? All of my templates are made from me. I draw them up in Inkscape, and I have them printed out full size, and then I cut them out. Andre Young wants to know PVC versus EVA, which is better to use. They each have their own purpose. EVA is nice and squishy and good for things like armor. It's lightweight, and PVC is rigid. So, it's a little harder to work with, but if you need something that's rigid, go with your PVC. Barfing of the Buns wants to know what my favorite video game is. Well, right now I'm playing the DLC, the Tiny Tina DLC from Borderlands 2, and that is a lot of fun. So let's go with that. Frank Santiago wants to know, other than yourself, who is your favorite prop maker? Oh, I have so many prop maker friends, I can't pick one. That's like picking your favorite pet. Actually, that's easy. I don't like Ender at all. He's a jerk. Willow's my favorite. Nanners wants to know, if I had to do my Handsome Jack mask differently or something like it, would I do it differently? Yeah, I learned a lot crafting and sculpting the Jack mask. Importantly, I didn't get the surface as smooth as I wanted it to, and I have thus learned more about sculpting. I would also look into more about traditional sculpting with clay and the sort of tools that you might use for that. Brant Hughes wants to know, what is your deepest fear and how can I exploit it? My deepest fear? Fear itself. Nice try, Brant. Richard Detours wants to know, birds, yes or no? Yes, birds are delicious. Darren wants to know, for beginners, what specific tools and materials would you recommend in regards to crafting armor? EVA foam floor mats, super glue, contact cement, and a knife with a lot of replacement blades. Randall Jeffrey wants to know, do you even lift, bro? I lifted today. Biceps and back, man. Tiny wants to know, what are the essential tools for prop making? What should a beginner prop maker pick up? You're going to do a lot of sanding, so a good sanding block and sandpaper is essential. A coping saw is a really good thing to start with. And then a Dremel, a really good rotary tool like Dremel, or mine's a Craftsman. With all the attachments, that's a good place to start. Thomas Rosefalk wants to know if my beard is magical. I don't know, but I've been looking into getting it enchanted. All right, guys, those are the ones I can chew through. You guys sent me a ton of questions, so I'll definitely have to do this again. If you have any other specific like prop making or costume making questions, you can just message me on Facebook at facebook.com/punishprops, and I get back to everyone there. I will be at New York Comic Con this weekend. I'm flying there tonight, so look for me there. I'll be in my Skyrim armor, and I will also have my Arkham City Robin costume on. I'll be on the floor all weekend, just hanging out with people and having a good time. So I hope I see you there. Thanks, guys. This has been a lot of fun.